こいつは楽しめそうだ。
Fighters ready. Engage.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Hoovy 186 back again with another video, the Overrated Podcast, episode 52. I am your co-host Hoovy 186, and this is my tag team partner, Traditionalist 101. Go ahead.
Yes, the Traditionalist 101, everyone. We apologize for starting late. We really need to try to strive of starting on time, like the ad says, 6:30. But we had a little bit of a hack issue, if you will, on his behalf. And are you going to tell everybody what happened to you, or do you
No.
think it's no big deal?
It's not a big deal.
I'll tell them then. He basically thought he got hacked and somebody was, I guess, begging him for money, and it was a dilemma for him. He had no idea what he should do, and I just told him, look, either you talk to the guy or just just block him. And it seems like you blocked him instead of aiding him with some money.
Well, I mean, I don't know who this. I didn't know who. I really don't know who this person is. So it's like, fuck it. Like, I'm not sending anyone money I don't trust. So yeah. So fuck them. Anyways, yeah. So pretty much. The Overrated Podcast, we have a couple of topics that we wanted to discuss. But before we do, let me discuss excuse me. Let me discuss Nunes Pena 2. I know you didn't watch it because you were preoccupied.
Yeah, I was pretty much watching the I was at my cousin's birthday party.
Yes,
And
tradition.
Oops. I was yeah, I was at the party, we were celebrating his birthday, and it was a really good party, by the way. The way the decorations, and he was so surprised that he was actually he was actually crying. And it was pretty cool, surprise. So shout out to you, Jeff. That's my cuz, that's my bro, for life. And and by the way, I tried to hit him up, the other day or yesterday to see if we can hang out, but he disappeared.
Probably was busy.
No, we're always going at each other saying, "Well, you don't call me," and I say, "Well, you don't call me," and he goes, "Well, no, you have to call me." And all right, well, I'm gonna start calling you. I'm gonna start texting you, and we will see if you respond. And I'm gonna try again, the rest of this week. So we'll see what happens.
Okay.
But other than that, the weekend was fantastic. Obviously on Sunday, it was also good. Went to church, praising the Lord, felt the Holy Spirit, all that good stuff. And now we're back on Monday again, doing the podcast with you. So go ahead with your Nunes topic, please.
Okay, so
I didn't watch it.
yeah. So you know who won, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I pretty much I went to Twin Peaks and Young
Why am I
Circle.
not surprised? Why am I not surprised?
Yeah, I went to Young Circle to go. I went to Twin Peaks. You know what's funny? You know that Twin Peaks used to be the Whiskey Tango.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I didn't realize it. I didn't realize it until I
That was
noticed.
years ago, bro. Years ago.
Yeah, I know, but I don't be down at Young Circle that often.
And why'd you went to Young Circle and not the one by where you live?
No, I just want to go. I just want to go to Young Circle.
Mm-hmm.
So I went there. Pretty much watched the entire card. The card was good. I the whole card was good. I know Derek Lewis. You know who Derek Lewis is, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he kind of got screwed in his fight. He.
Oh really?
Yeah. It was the referee stopped it prematurely, even though I would argue that if your face hits the mat, the referee, you remember these guys have to make a split decision, right? So
Yeah.
he hit his head hit straight on the mat. So he assumed that he was down, and Derek Lewis popped back up, but he had already called the fight, so he lost.
Wow.
He lost that.
Wow.
The co-main event was good. Brendan Moreno, he beat Cara France with a wicked body kick. It's crazy body kick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but the reason why I was there was Nunes versus Pena too, right? And obviously you see Nolan saying right here, Nunes a goat. Absolutely. She dominated the fight. She dominated the fight. She
Did
won.
you
Mm,
quickly? Did you think she was the best fighter even after she had lost?
absolutely.
Okay. Okay.
Absolutely. There is not a woman fighter in the history of the sport. Every major fighter, women's fighter over the past decade, Amanda's beaten. Like she destroyed. Obviously, she destroyed Rousey. She beat Misha. She beat Holly.
The
Like
Holly one, what really took me by surprise. I couldn't believe how she easily dismantled Holly. That one was really shocking.
yeah, she did. The only person that she hasn't been able to definitively beat is Valentina Shevchenko.
Mm-hmm.
Because they've had. I think Amanda's won both fights, but both fights have been very very close.
I think both was split decision. I think,
I think
wasn't
so
it?
too. Yeah, I think so too. The only other woman who has a claim to being the greatest of all time is Valentina Shevchenko.
Yeah, but then but I think she went to another division, didn't she?
Yeah, yeah, and that's the craziest thing. Like she's at a lower weight class, but she almost beat Amanda at one. I think it was 135 that she's in. Yeah, 135,
Yeah.
and she's a natural one. I think she's a natural 125 pounder.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's like but Amanda is the GOAT. Like there's no denying that she's the GOAT, right? So she pretty much won. She won all. I would say she won all 5 rounds. The only round where she was in a little bit of trouble was in the third. In the third round, she started wrestling with Juliana, who's tough as that woman's tough.
Yeah.
That woman is mad tough. Like I give her mad props because she took a beating.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah, she took a beating because like she did the same thing she did in the first fight, right? Where she was pretty much going head first at Amanda. And in the first fight, Amanda had a hard time knocking her out, trying to really knock her out. And then once they got to the ground, Amanda got tired, got really, really tired.
Yeah.
Right. So she decided to say, okay, you know what, here's what I'm gonna do. If you're gonna come in, I'm gonna knock your block off, which is what she did on multiple occasions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Amanda's like doing all these like wild, not Amanda, Juliana's doing all these wild punches, straight punches, and Amanda all she does absorbs them, hit her with a hook or a jab, and stopped her momentum cold.
Okay, so Amanda did get tagged though.
I mean, yeah, she got hit. She got hit a little bit, but she was standing up. She was never in trouble. The only time she was in trouble is when she was grappling with Juliana, right? And Juliana kept trying to get like Kimuras and arm bars from the bottom. And
Oh.
at one point, it looked like she had her. It looked
Oh,
like she had
wow.
her, but I think Amanda slipped out or whatever, and then continued just doing the ground and pound. And there was one elbow from Amanda that you can see once she hit that elbow, you could see the cut start to open up in the Juliana.
Jeez, man.
Yeah, that was crazy. But like I said, Juliana, she's tough as hell. But Amanda, she won, and she's the greatest. She's the greatest of all time, man. There's no denying that.
There's no I know we can't show it, but like there's like no screenshots that we could see or anything.
No, but but this look for Juliana and Nunes. You'll find it. There's multiple gifts out there of pretty much what I was talking about with her, with Juliana doing all these wild punches.
Oh, come on, you can't show us at least a couple,
No, I'm not, bro. I'm not, man. Like UFC, they don't play around with their copyright bullshit. They don't play around with that.
even pictures.
I know I'm not. What's good at pictures? Like pictures don't mean anything. You want to see. You want to you want to see the action. That's what you want to see. Pictures ain't gonna do shit.
I mean, it just would be nice to get at least some visual as you were elaborating and giving, your commentary. That's all. But but if you feel like that's not necessary, then that's fine. So two questions now.
Mm.
Do you think one question is, do you think there should be a part three?
I think technically, I think there should be, but I don't see how Juliana can justify a rematch. So the way the fight went, there's no way that I can see her making any type of adjustment to that where she can do that. She can beat her. So you don't have the power that she does, and you don't have the power. You really don't have the technical skill level on the standing up to compete with her. And on the ground, like she's shown that she could take you down at will. And yes, you have the advantage when it comes to submissions and stuff like that. But if she avoids it, it's gonna be the same fight as the first fight, at the second fight. Excuse me.
So then what? I'm trying to. I can't remember vividly because when Nunes lost the first fight, you could tell that Juliana had her, was basically controlled the fight the whole entire time.
Nah, that wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't go that far.
Really?
The problem is that like what happened was that in the first fight, Nunes gassed out early. She got tired early because she was grappling with Juliana, and obviously Juliana's great on the ground, so she's not going to submit or anything like that. Because I mean, in the last round, Pena really tried to Nunes tried to finish the fight, almost had her in a choke, and Juliana wouldn't tap, and then she was able to pop out of it.
Yeah.
But in that first fight, they were exchanging, and look, obviously, Nunes has the power,
Mm-hmm.
but when she gassed out, that power didn't mean anything, and Juliana just kind of peppered her, and hurt her with a couple shots, and then I think they went down to the ground and she choked her.
Wow.
But I just don't know if the way that the second fight went, I don't know if it justifies a rematch.
That's a huge shocker, coming from you, because I remember when we would talk about this even before, that if there's a 1-1 split, that should automatically be a part three. You know what I'm saying? So I'm actually surprised that you don't think it's justified, despite the fact that Nunes lost the first time.
Yeah, I just don't think the fight changes all that often. I just don't think the fight changes. But at the same time, they don't really have a contender at 135 that would contend with Nunes, because Nunes has cleaned out the division basically. She cleaned
Yeah.
out the division.
Yeah, and this is the thing that really sucks when it comes to the women's division. Somebody had mentioned, when it comes to like UFC, there's really not a lot of women in this country or around the world, they say, that really wants to partake in physical fights. I mean, that's what they were saying. That's why we don't have as much divisions, and it's usually just oversaturated with the men. I don't know how true that is, but
The thing is that here's the thing. The thing is that the women's MMA is still, your MMA in general is still a young sport.
yeah,
But
it's still
it's a lot
yeah.
younger. Yeah, but it's a lot younger on the women's side than it is on the men's side. So you're going, so here's what made Nunes so much better than the other women in her division is the way that she is, her hitting is the way that she hits girls.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I don't know, I can't really think of the best way to say this. She hits like a man. You know what I mean?
Misha Tate actually said that.
That she,
That
yeah.
she hits like a man, and I think she retired after
Yeah.
getting that beat down from Nunes.
I don't know if she retired, but I know she did come back. She came
Yeah,
back.
she came back. Yeah, recently. Yeah.
Um, But the thing is that her striking is so much more. The power behind her strikes are so much more devastating than the other women in the division. Like if I had to guess, I would probably say that Holly Holm is probably still the best overall striker, the best technical striker,
Mm-hmm.
and in the women. Well, no. Well, I mean, in that division, I would say she is. But the problem is she don't have nowhere near the power that Nunes has. She don't have the power. Like Nolan said, they're like Chris Cyborg in her prime. Like Nunes destroyed Cyborg, and
Yeah,
all they did was strike. All they did was just strike, was just punching each other.
exactly. They were just going at
And
it,
and and,
punch
Cy-
after punch.
and
Yeah.
Cyborg before that, even though I know she had you know was accused of steroid use and stuff like that, but a lot of people said the same thing about Cyborg, about how the way that her strikes, right? It was just next level compared to other women, and then Amanda took her best shot and knocked her ass out. You know what I'm saying? So, like, to me, like, I don't know what you do. I don't know what you do with I don't know what you do with Amanda. I know she said she's gonna take some time off, go to Brazil, because she hasn't been there since the pandemic and everything like that. So I don't know. I mean, hopefully there's other women in the division that can step up. You know what I mean? Like this is just something, and that's gonna take time. But there are definitely women training in mixed martial arts. They have this woman named Kayla Harrison, who's probably like the top MMA prospect out there, but she's in another league right now, and she just signed a new
Oh,
deal.
okay.
And she signed recently a new deal with that league. I think is a PFL, and I think a lot of people want to see her fight Amanda, because she had I've never seen her fight, so I don't know what her discipline is. But there are definitely women out there, but the UFC has to, they have to get these women and see what they can do.
Uh, well then there, if that's the case, then there really is nobody else. And after this win, does she currently have two titles again?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and then the featherweight title is, I don't know, I don't know why that division is still there. I don't know why
Oh,
that.
that's right. That's right. Because there's nobody there, isn't there? Right.
No, like, so they they created that division for Cyborg,
Yeah. Right.
and she's not there no more. Like, and they don't have any other contenders there. They don't. So
So
it's like,
so pretty much technically, she's just going to remain featherweight, title until more women starts to compete.
if they can find any.
Well, if they're not going to find any, you might as well get rid of the belt.
I
Now, I don't think I don't think she wants to do that, because I know what she's going to say. She's going to say that she earned, that title. She beat Cyborg. And so therefore, I don't think she would want to give it up. But if you're not going to have more women compete in that division, what's the point?
don't
I
know.
mean, technically, yeah, she's still champion, but still, if you're not going to have anybody else, partake, I think at this rate, UFC is probably doing a poor job of trying to recruit, women at that weight
I
class.
mean, they have I think they own part of Evicta, which is a women's MMA promotion. I don't know. I haven't heard anything from that promotion in a while. Let me look it up.
Oh yeah, that'll definitely be big news. Yeah.
I mean, they have women promotions out there, but I don't know if let me see. Let me see. Okay, all right. So they're still around.
Mm-hmm.
I just haven't heard. I haven't heard much about the promotion um in a minute. But they're still around.
Okay, so they're still around, but nothing's happening. Like, because when she fought Cyborg, wasn't that what, like 2 years ago?
Yeah, it was some time ago.
Yeah. So she hasn't fought anybody in that division ever since then, and 2 years is I think is far too long for you to hold the title and not defend it against anybody. And I know for a fact nobody is going to go up, to fight Nunes, to get that title. But I don't really see no other option than just get rid of it if no one's going to fight.
Didn't she beat Holly in that? Didn't she beat Holly in that division? I don't. I
Wasn't that
don't.
wasn't that division? I don't think so.
I don't remember. But okay. So Nolan got a bunch of comments. Let me go through them. No automatic rematch. Pena can work her way back up the card. But
Well, okay, go ahead.
they don't really have. I mean, they have girls there, but I don't know if there's anyone who's legitimately, you can see is a contender to Amanda. So if she wins one fight, then she's gonna get back. She's gonna get back up into the. She's gonna get back up in there. So
The,
yeah.
the reason why I want an automatic rematch is because when you, in my opinion, when you give two of the fighters more time, let's say they fight again like a year or two afterwards, usually by that time one of the fighters will get drastically better and the other one will probably remain the same or plateau, like
But
like similar what happened with John Jones and what's his name, Gustafson.
mhm.
I think that's his name was. Like
Yeah,
I really wanted the rematch to be sooner because the match was extremely close.
yeah,
But then when they finally got a rematch, John Jones destroyed him.
yeah.
Like the fight wasn't even close.
Was the better fighter, and Gustafson. I think what happened with Gustafson. Um, I think Gustafson lost to Rumble Johnson,
Yeah.
and then they were supposed to do. I still wish I would have seen that. I wish we could have seen that fight between Jones and Johnson.
Oh my gosh,
I,
that would have
I
been
think I
so.
think I think Johnson. I think Jones would win, but Johnson had the type of power that I don't think John Jones has ever faced.
Well, I mean Cormier. So
No, no,
I
no,
mean,
no,
what
no,
do
no,
you think
no,
is the
no,
same?
no, 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 no. He like, and Cormier beat Johnson. Cormier
Yeah.
beat Johnson, but the thing is that Johnson kicked his dude. Johnson got him flush with a kick, and the only reason why Cormier didn't get knocked out because he had that giant head. I legit believe that. If he kicked John Jones with that head kick, I think he knocks him out cold.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If he can reach him, because obviously Jones is a lot taller. But
Yeah.
yeah. But man, I so wish we could have seen that fight. But I think either Jones got hurt or something stupid happened. We
Now,
never
what
got.
were you going to say before I interrupted you?
Well, I was
When I
gonna recount.
mentioned when I was gonna when I talked about how I wish we had an immediate rematch, but you was going to say something.
I was gonna recomment.
Oh, okay.
All right. So yeah. So Nolan said Holly has skill, no power. Not no power, just outclassed by Nunes. Yeah, that's definitely what happened in that fight. She got outclassed.
Well, I
Definitely.
think she got. I think that Holly Holmes was just scared. Like you could see that she was
No,
not
no, no.
comfortable.
She's patient. She was patient, but the problem is that once you get hit with that power, I mean, there's not like Mike Tyson said best. Everyone has a plan until they get hit, and her plan went out the window when Amanda touched her.
Okay, so that's what happened.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I watched that fight. That fight was brutal, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I saw. Yeah, I saw that. I saw the fight with you. Yeah.
yeah. Harrison is nice, but she's comfortable outside of UFC. Yeah, that's true. I mean, they're paying her good money, so
Well, if she's going to make more money over there, then yeah, I would definitely say stay.
And then also Nunes said that Nolan said that Invicta has no hype. Yeah, that's true. I don't really hear much about Invicta, and that's the promotion that UFC has to build up women, to build up women fighters, and I don't know. I don't know. I haven't been too much into MMA to be honest with you, so maybe there's someone I'm missing.
Well, yeah, I mean, when you have everybody pretty much retired, Cormier, Johnson, and John Jones, who knows what happened to him. Connor's not the same anymore. Um, and you know, what's his name? Crap, what's that dude's name? I forgot his name. A lot of people they just they either left or they're just not the same. So who's that huge attention draw? They don't have anybody else.
No, right now it's the UFC, and frankly, I think the UFC is okay with that. I
They
think
were. They're
I think,
okay not having a face in for the company.
yeah, I think they are okay with that. I think they want the brand to be the face of the company.
So they want to be like the NFL.
Well, I mean, yeah, to an extent, but you have to remember the quarterback is always gonna get the pub, right? They'll be stars. They'll be stars, no matter what.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say that I think UFC would are more are okay with the brand being because they make money hand over fist anyway. And the reason why John Jones and let's say for example John Jones and Francis Ngannou is never going to happen is because they UFC knows that they have to pay those guys. You have to pay those guys.
You
John
mean the
Jones,
main? You mean the main stars?
yeah, John Jones gonna want a huge payday, and so is Francis Ngannou. And UFC, they're dragging their feet on that, and so yeah, that fight's never gonna happen.
Okay, because they're pretty much they're cheap. That's why they're cheap.
Yeah, despite making all the money that they make, being sold for $4.2 billion, they don't want to pony up the money. And Dana White even said, and we talked about this on the podcast. Dana White even said it, like he laments the way that boxers are paid, but the facts are that you see a lot of MMA guys who see that, they hear the comments, they see the money that they make, they see the money that Dana makes, and they're like, "Well, we deserve to get paid. We deserve to get paid." But it is what it is, bro. It is what
Yeah, I
it is.
mean after all the money that they've been making, of course they deserve to get paid.
Yeah.
Who what? But again, I think they're just being cheap. They don't want to pay the guy. So it is what it is. At this point. But I don't like the fact that they want to be if they want to imitate, the NFL and just focus on the brand and not the stars. The reason why people paid attention to UFC is because of the stars. You had guys, well, you had girls, like Ronda Rousey,
Mhm.
and then you had Conor McGregor, you had John Jones, you had George St. Pierre, you had Cormier, somewhat, but the main attention draw what was like the John Jones and
Yeah,
the
they had
Conor
stars.
McGregors. Yeah.
Stars.
Yeah, but if you don't have at least not one, mega star or at least one or two, I mean, people are not going to, get motivated, to watch fights. As a matter of fact, one of our own friends, they stopped watching. Randy stopped watching.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people left. Mighty Mouse left. Like all these people who were great,
Oh,
outside of,
Mighty Mouse was never a draw. He was never a draw.
you don't think so?
No, he wasn't.
No, okay.
No, he wasn't. Great fighter, one of the greatest fighters of all time, but he was never a draw.
You think because of the division that he was in?
That's part of it. I think that's part of it. I think
Okay.
that's part of it. Because smaller fighters have a harder time being draws historically. But if you have like a level of personality, then I think you can get over it. But Mighty Mouse was never gonna be that guy.
Okay.
He was never
All
gonna
right.
be.
Well, all right. All right. So Nunes, won the fight. You don't think there should automatically be a rematch?
Yeah.
I think there should be.
I mean, I'm down for whatever. It don't matter to me. Whether they do it or not, I can live with it.
Yeah. Okay.
Let me read a couple more comments from Nolan. He said that if that's how they feel, switch gloves and go 9 rounds, or act or work with Vince McMahon and Triple H, because Dana ain't paying. That's the problem.
uh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Dana's not going. Dana's not going to pay.
Yeah.
He's not going to pay. So yeah.
All right. Go ahead. This is you.
All right. So everyone, as we all know, this is well, at least for me, and I don't know about you, having now, but it is pretty much a sad. We lost another legend, Bill Russell, and everybody's been talking about it all morning, in sports media. And the thing is, about Bill Russell, although this was such a long time ago, since he had played, people still talked about him anyway. And I love the debates regarding to Bill Russell. And one of the debates that I always liked, you actually was in favor of one of them where you said, well, it was such a long time ago, we didn't have that many teams out there, so I don't really people don't really consider him as this, you know dominant, specimen, or consider him as, one of the, best of the best, because there wasn't really any, other athletes out there that can compete, with him, except for, Wilt.
Mhm.
But for me, my argument has always been, hey, 11 championships is 11 championships. You can't ignore that. So that was one of the debates I have always noticed that people usually take when it comes to, to Bill. But here it says, oh wait, let me share this first. Let me quickly share.
And yeah, no one said that Mouse not a draw because he lacks the larger than life personality. Yeah, I think that's part. I think that's the main part of it for him.
Larger
Which
than
is
life.
yeah,
What?
which is unfortunate because he was a great fighter. He was a great fighter.
No, he was dominating. Like, he was killing everybody.
Yeah.
He was absolutely destroying everybody. But I wish he was more popular. But ever since he left, I mean, I don't know how well he's been doing after he left, but
At one FC, at one, I think he's in one FC right now. I think he's doing fine. I think he might be their champion over there.
okay, well, that just shows how good he is. Did he leave because of money?
Yeah.
Ah, oh well, then this is UFC's problem. This is UFC's problem. If you're not going to pay, then don't get upset. Or hey, when people start leaving, don't get upset if your revenue starts to wane. They'll have it coming. You'll see. But anyway,
Okay. Right now, he's
oh,
the former champion. Right now, the
okay. So
former. He was the first one FC flyweight champion. I think he lost that fight.
so he lost.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so he lost the fight. All right. Well, you know, do you watch that fight? Do you watch that league?
No.
Okay. All right. So anyway, back to where we were. So Boston Celtics, great Bill
Oh,
Russell.
no. My fault. My fault. My fault. He didn't leave because of money. He got traded.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he got traded.
Oh, okay. So yeah, Boston Celtics, great Bill Russell, 11-time NBA champion, dies at 88. So once again, this is really sad because we have already lost a lot of legendary athletes in recent past. But I'm not going to read this whole entire thing, but it says Bill Russell, the cornerstone of the Boston Celtics dynasty that won 8 straight titles and 11 overall during his career, died Sunday. The Hall of Famer was 88 years old. Bill Russell died peacefully with his wife, Janine. I think it's Janine or Jenny. I think, yeah, Janine. At his side, a statement posted on social media. Arrangements for his memorial service will be announced soon, according to the statement. So, okay, the statement did not give the cause of death, but Russell, who had been living in the Seattle area, was not well enough to present the NBA Finals MVP trophy in June because of a long illness. So, okay, so this actually makes sense why he wasn't there,
Yeah.
because I usually was actually surprised that he wasn't there, but I just thought that, he just didn't want to partake. But if you are so sick where you can't even pass the trophy, then yeah, that's bad, and that's just really unfortunate because the man, like, this guy meant so much, and he has done so much off the court. And I know people have been talking about it, but people have mentioned so much of how good this dude was off the court and everything. But we'll get to that soon. So, but for all the winnings, understanding of the struggle is what illuminated his life. The statement said, from boycotting a 1961 exhibition game to unmask a long tolerated discrimination to leading Mississippi first integrated basketball camp in the combustible wake of Midgar Evers' assassination um, to crap decades of activism, ultimately recognized by his receipt of the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Bill called out injustice with an unforgiving candor that he intended would disrupt the status quo, and with a powerful example that, though never his humble intention, will forever inspire teamwork, selflessness, and throughout thoughtful change. So, I'm not going to read all of this, but what are your thoughts?
Okay, let me before I speak my piece, let me read some comments from Walter. Shout out to him. You said rest in peace. One of the best centers ever. Would have loved to have him for another 10 years. All right. So my thoughts on it is, obviously, it's a sad day. Obviously anyone with his legacy, with his impact, not only obviously on the court, but off the court is something that would never be duplicated. Now, you mentioned how I don't feel like he's a top 10 player anymore. I
Yeah,
still stand by that. But when it comes to the game of basketball, I would argue that he's one of the most important players in the history of the sport. And the funny thing is, for everyone who out there, if you're gonna watch an ESPN 30 for 30, watch the best of enemies, the Celtics versus the Lakers, right?
hmm
And pay attention to the first part of that 30 for 30. Because what
okay,
it does, it highlights the struggle that he had. Now, mind you, during winning all those goddamn championships in Boston, winning what 11, I think he won. I think they won like 9 in a row at one point.
hmm
All those championships, all the stuff that he did for that city, and
yes,
he was still second fiddle to the Bruins and to the Red Sox. You know what I'm saying? The amount of love that a guy like Ted Williams has, right? A legendary Red Sox player, which and rightfully so. Ted Williams, legendary figure, someone who fought for the rights of African Americans in his sport in baseball, well deserved, right?
hmm
Well deserved. I mean, look at Larry Bird. Look at how much love Larry Bird has in Boston,
oh for sure,
and you compare that to what Bill Russell, and it's like I don't think he never got his just due. And when you watch that, when you watch that documentary, right? When he retired, first not only was he obviously a great champion on the court, but also he was the first African American head coach in I think in American sports.
yeah, he was the first one.
Yeah, he was the first one, right? And it's like everything that he had to go through. But
I think I think wasn't he was even also the first Black Star, and and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he also was part of the first Black starting lineup too.
I think you're right. I think you're right because they said all this in the documentary,
Okay,
right?
okay,
They said all this in the documentary, and even though he did all these great things for Boston, and I've said this on the podcast before. I guarantee you, a lot more people think highly of Larry Bird than they do of Bill Russell, and that to me that there's something wrong about that.
yeah,
And I get it, Larry Bird, you know, one of the greatest players of all time, right? Help save the NBA in the 80s. Definitely was one of the reasons why the NBA was saved in the 80s. That goes without saying.
yeah.
But like it's I don't know, man. Like yeah, I was gonna mention like when he retired in Boston, they did that in a pregame ceremony where there were no fans.
Oh, that I didn't know. I didn't
Yeah,
know about that.
why? Because even though they were winning all those championships, people still didn't go to those games. At least not at the rate. that they would go to the games in the 70s when they had, Havlicek and other guys like white players who were their top guys. In the 80s, obviously, when you have Larry and McHale.
Wow.
The sport in general in the 70s, that was really, I wouldn't say necessarily the dark ages, but that was an era that's not looked upon as fondly because the league was struggling big time. Because the league had this image of being too black. Yeah,
Yes, yes, yeah.
too black. And that hurt the league big time. That hurt the league. So, and he dealt with all that. He dealt with all that, and I can never, I can never take that away from him. Did all
Yeah.
that and still was a legend in the sport. So
Yeah,
it
he
really,
became a legend, and what was also impressive was how even with all like how you mentioned before, all the scrutiny, all the discrimination, calling him racist, he was still able to win all those championships, despite the fact that we had even his own fans betrayed him.
yeah,
Obviously they had to do with racism back then, all the civil rights issues, and yet he was still able to perform and focus, on basketball. Like, bro, when you could do that, and now don't get me wrong, I'm pretty sure he wasn't the only one affected by it, because I found out that his house was vandalized,
hmm
and like how in the world you could focus on winning a game when people are destroying your property. That takes a lot of strong mental type of toughness for you to concentrate on your job, knowing that people are out there to get you and vandalize your property. That's just really messed up. But and that's another reason why I consider him one of the greatest leaders that we have ever had in and outside the court. But go ahead with your
Yeah,
comments.
I'm reading a comment from Nolan. You said that Nichols and Russell died the same day yesterday. Yesterday was a sad day, and then he said racist city, like you said last week. Yeah, I mean that's the unfortunate history of that city and this country in general. But it is where it is. You can't change it. All you can really do is learn from it and improve upon it. And I think the amount of love that Bill Russell received from social media and throughout the years, you can always tell how much the basketball community embraced him and loved him and stuff like that. So like I said, he died at age 88. Apparently, he died peacefully with his family. I think if the best way to go out, you go out that way. You leave a legacy, and you die with your friends and family by your side. There's trust me, there's far worse ways to go out. So I
Oh,
salute.
oh, yeah, I definitely agree with that. There's
Yeah,
there's a lot of different ways that you could go out, and it was peaceful. So if it was
yeah,
peaceful, now don't get me wrong, it's still heartbroken that he's gone.
yeah.
Because he had done so much in his country. Like, I don't know if you knew this, but I think there was a time where what year was this? I think it was 1963. It was where, yeah, 1963, where I think he was supposed to. I think Martin Luther King had asked him, to join the what was it, the like the march,
hmm
and like all the planning that went on. He actually didn't go and partake in the march, because he said all the people that put in the work, they should be the ones that should partake and join in and do all the marching and all the celebrating and all the other stuff. He said that they should be the ones should be front and center and be participants in that. So that constantly shows how he was really not a selfish individual at all. Like, he always put people, other people first, before himself. And I think that just shows how incredible that dude is, man. Really incredible. Now, I want to say this, before we move on. I'm still surprised that you still stand by he's not a top 10 player. Because once again, 11 championships is never going to be duplicated, ever. ever.
Okay.
Now people mention, I don't want to go off topic. Now people mention that the same thing happened with Tom Brady, but we're already having people that are predicting that that Mahomes may probably have a chance to do the exact same thing Tom Brady did. That's fine. But when it comes to 11, championships, that's never going to be duplicated. Winning 8 in a row, that's never going to happen again. And you could say, well, he wasn't athletic, but I found out, earlier today that he was actually athletic enough to actually join the Olympics.
Yeah,
So
he was a great. He was a great athlete.
yeah,
I never said he wasn't a great athlete.
yeah. So he already had the major advantage against everybody else. So I cannot punish him for that. That you can't use that against him because he was just far superior than everybody else. You can't. So why remove him from the top 10? It doesn't make any sense. I don't. I need you to explain why you removing him from the top 10.
I feel like in the man's depth that me questioning whether or not he's top 10 is somehow something that we need to address right now. I don't think it's
Well, you
I
said.
just, I just
You already said it. You already said it earlier.
all right. First off, you're bodying. I don't know what's going on. You're bodying right now.
What do you mean?
Your connection's acting stupid.
Not again. Not again. All right. Go ahead. I'll fix it while you talk.
All right. So pretty much, look, like regardless of what I feel about, there's 10 basketball players that I feel are better. Like it's just an opinion at the end of the day.
Okay. So, all right. I'm gonna read this. One last bit. Let me see.
Your connection's bad.
Can you hear me at least?
I barely.
All right, let me see what's going on here. Let me test this thing out. Sorry everybody. Let me just see what's going on here. Uh, I mean, this was supposed to be at the 300s, so I could see why. I don't know what's going on. How do I sound now?
Poor, not good.
Not good. Crap. I still sound awful.
Yeah, you still don't sound good.
All right, you go ahead and talk. Let me try to fix this up real quick.
All right. All right, hold on. Let me read some comments from Nolan before Steve come back. To discuss his ranking as a player takes away from the impact he had on the game overall. I agree with that. Like I don't feel like me discussing whether or not he's a top 10 player is relevant to if we're honoring his life. I don't want to talk about ranking or anything like that. I don't want to do that. You also say you're jealous of the connection. Yeah, I'm not. That he sounded horrible. All right, so McKinley, shout out to you, McKinley. He said Bill Russell is in my top 10 of all time. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Like I don't have no problem with that. I just feel like when you have someone like the reason why I took him out of my top 10, even though I don't want to really discuss it. The reason why I took him out of my top 10 is because I was going to put Steph Curry in the top 10 because I feel like when you look at how the game has evolved now, I think that his impact on the league is something that's going to be felt for years to come. You know what I mean? I feel the same way. Yeah, and you can argue the same way that you can say about Bill Russell, but when it comes to like overall talent, I think Will Chamberlain is going to be viewed upon higher as far as like overall physicality. Even though Russell, you can argue Russell, you can't argue Russell is a better champion than Chamberlain. That goes without saying. But when it comes to like pure physicality, you can't argue the accomplishment that Will Chamberlain had, right? And then I look at what you look at some other guys like Larry. I think the importance of, even though I can lament the fact that Larry Bird is looked upon higher in Boston lore than Bill Russell, even though I can be upset about that. At the end of the day, the impact of Larry Bird to the NBA as to what it is now cannot be understated. Can't be understated. So, you there, Steve?
Yeah. Do I sound better?
You sound better, but your camera's still freezing a little bit. Go ahead, say some other stuff.
Yeah. I looked at I checked my speed and it said that it's fine. So I don't know.
I mean, you sound fine now. You sound fine now.
Maybe if I lower the resolution, I don't know.
All right, but yeah. On that note, you have anything else to say about Russell?
Well, yeah, there were. Dang, what was the other thing I was going to mention? There was something else I was going to mention. Um, Crap, dude. Like I think I lost it because I was trying to freaking get my camera fixed and everything, and now I think I lost what I was going to say. But oh no, I think I remember a couple of things now. I might as well share the. I might as well do the. Might as well play everything. Can you see this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, I might as well just play it. I put in the work, so I might as well just play it. Now, a lot of people, what's so funny? A lot of people was constantly using the word, how they were saying that he was a baby boomer and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
and he lived a long life. He's actually not a baby boomer. He's actually a silent generation, which is actually before the baby boomers, and then obviously there's the Generation X, and then there's the millennials. And there's a lot of people like that around, still. You know, we lost, obviously, recently we lost, Alex Trebek. He's also people who are, in their late 80s, 90s, like those are the, silent, generation. So they're still around, and he did, live a long life. But I still believe that man, I just wish that, he was still around because he did so much, for this country, and it's just really sad, seeing this guy gone. But now one last thing before we move on. It's not going to show all the whole entire slide, but that's fine. One last thing I want to say, before we moved on, from what I've heard, from guys like like Kobe Bryant and others, how they were saying like they were trying to, and this is the other reason why I say he's a top 10 player, because a lot of guys needed advice of how you could be a winner, like how can you actually impact the league, or make your teammates better, yada yada yada. They went to Bill Russell to get that type of advice. And when you think about it, what choice do you actually have? The guy won 11 championships, and for a guy to be so athletic, at his at the time he was playing basketball. I don't believe this stupid notion that, oh, people in the 90s, in the 80s, in the 70s would not be able to play you know in today's game. I think that's hogwash. I think all that is hogwash. Because then you could pretty much say the same thing vice versa. You could say, oh, the players in modern time won't be able to play back then because of all the physicality. But you and I, what the hell? You and I last week, debunked that. Guys will be able to adjust. Guys will
Well,
be
here's the thing, right? If you take a guy from the '60s and you just take his skill level and then put him in today's game, he's not going to survive. He's not going to survive. The average NBA player is not going to survive. Now, I always mention, if you take that same player, right? Let's say you take Dominique Wilkins, right?
hmm
You give him the nutrition, the help, the knowledge, of how the game is played now,
Yes.
you give him all of that, and then you supplant him into today's game, he would dominate. He would dominate. Same thing with all the great players. As long as, to me, if your skill can transcend eras, then you're a great player. Then you're an all-time great, in my opinion.
Yes.
You know what I mean? As your if your ability can transcend, I believe that Russell's can transcend eras. Right? Same thing with Will. Same thing with with all these other old guys. Right? But at the same thing, you have to acknowledge there are some guys whose skill set would not. And in today's game, I don't think that their game would translate. Like Shaq, I don't think Shaq can be as dominant being Laker Shaq in today's game.
Oh no,
I
I think he can.
No, I don't. If he was Orlando Magic Shaq, I actually think he would. If he was Orlando Magic Shaq, he would absolutely translate into today's game
Hmm.
because all of his skill, like mind you, this dude running up and down the floor at his size, right? Because he wasn't as nearly as big as he became. If because what he probably would have done naturally, he probably would have shot more threes, would have worked more on his handles, but he would be Giannis today. That's who he would be. He would be Giannis.
You talking about Bill Russell?
No, well, no, actually, I'm talking Shaq.
Oh, you're talking about Shaq? Okay,
I'm talking
okay.
about Shaq.
Hmm.
I think he can be. I think he can be that today. But the other guy, like we mentioned, Charles Oakley. Charles Oakley's skill set is not going to translate into today's game. He's just not.
I agree. Same as Ben Wallace.
Yeah, yeah. I think he will still be a shot blocker, but that's it. But he's not going to be defensive player of the year quality. I don't think he would be on that level. You know what I mean? But ultimately, like but yeah, like I mean, his impact on the sport is something that will live on forever, and I think that I'm happy for that. That's what I'm happy for that.
Well,
So
yeah, I mean, I'm happy for that too. But I'm still going to remain in my original position, my original statement that he'll be absolutely just fine if he was taken. If you just went back in time, then you went forward in time and you brought him in today's game, I think he would be fine because remember you still have to apply the new coaching, you have to apply the nutrition that you talked about, all
mhm.
the advanced technology that we are able to possess. um he'll be able to take advantage of all of those things, like everybody else is taking advantage of today. So I think him, Will Chamberlain, Dr. J, all of those guys will be just fine if they were playing in this era. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't believe this notion that these guys would not be able to hang in this era. I don't believe that. And the fact that he was actually an Olympic athlete, just because you are a basketball player, that doesn't mean that you be able to survive, the Olympics. That doesn't make you an Olympic athlete. They're two completely different sports.
Yeah,
He was so athletic enough that he could do both. He could
yeah,
do both. So he would do absolutely just fine, going into today's era. He'll be fine. He would have been fine if we actually had the opportunity to see him play in this era. And it's guys like him. It's guys like Will Chamberlain. It's guys like Kareem. I don't know if you watched when Magic Johnson and Kareem was playing, but I didn't get to see not one game of those guys play. I really wish I had the opportunity to actually watch it on TV, but you know it's just unfortunate. I just wasn't alive at the time, and so I missed everything. But to me, 11 championships is an amazing accomplishment. And the fact that he had to go through all the racism nonsense and being called a coon, being called a baboon, being called the N word, and he even said it himself. And this is, I don't want to get political here, but I just want to make one quick point and then let's move on, right? But I really want to make this point. He is a pure example of, I simply love the fact that although he was being discriminated, he was being called a coon, He was being called a baboon. He was being called all the disgusting stuff. House being vandalized. What he said was that he used that as fuel, and he took that on the court to dominate the game. He didn't go cry, at a corner saying, "Oh, my life is over. These people got power over me. I'm just going to give up life." And no, he didn't do any of that. He took all of the people constantly ridiculing him, people calling him names, all that other stuff. He used that and he took it to the court and he won 11 times. 11 times. He didn't care how many times he was being called a coon or baboon, and he even said, I should pull up the article, but he even said that people was telling him, go back to Africa, we don't need you here, yada yada yada. So he was dealing with so much racism back then, but yet he still took that and won. And that's how I believe, you could disagree with me if you want, but that's how I believe how we should apply that even today. Yes, there's still racism in this country. Yes, there's still sexism and discrimination in this country. But are you going to just constantly cry about it? Or are you going to fight back and just be the best person that you could be and win? If somebody doesn't want to hire you, or fine, screw you. I'm going to another company. Maybe they'll hire me. I'm just gonna keep working hard, do what I have to do, and not constantly have this victim mentality and lose. He didn't do that. Now, if this pisses you off, I'm sorry, but that's exactly what he did. He said it, verbatim.
It doesn't piss me off. The thing is that when you say, I understand the idea of what you're saying.
Oh, you do?
However, what it also does, your mentality, what it also does, it excuses the poor behavior from people in power. That's the problem. It excuses the behavior of people in power, and you can't have that. You've seen it with Vince McMahon. You've seen it with Donald Sterling. You see it with what Bill Russell dealt with. If you it's one thing to not let it break you.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. Don't let it break you. But you can't. But that shit can't slide either. You can't let that shit slide either. If someone is going to discriminate against you, because they're not going to hire you because of your skin tone, sexuality, or whatever, that shit needs to be called out upon. You can still go around and look for the right job for you, but there's no way that shit should stand.
Mm-hmm.
That level of discrimination should stand. And the problem is that when people bitch and complain about it, they get called a victim. They do, he just he's acting like a victim. No. He's telling you what's going on and why it's not right. Because when you have people who sit there and be like, oh well, you have to be strong, you have to be silent, basically, that means that the people in power are still going to continue to do the stuff that they get away with.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly why Vince McMahon got away with the stuff that he got away with for all those years. Because people always said, "Oh, no, sell it. Don't do this. Don't let him get the satisfaction." McMahon himself gave away money to quiet people up, and you have a lot of people who, and look, this country, and I will argue this world, is run by the almighty dollar. Whether it's a bill, or if it's a peso or euro, whatever the fuck. If you give an opportunity to people who need money, and for their silence, a lot of people are going to take it, and a lot of people are going to justify it with, oh well, I need to feed my family or whatever. So again, I get the idea of what you're saying, but I don't want the people in power to keep that same type of keep that same type of power just because people don't want to be a victim.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, no, I mean, like, I'm not saying that you're wrong, because he even, because remember, he even mentioned, I don't know if you know the story, but I don't know if I got the year right, but if I think it was 1961. I don't know if you knew about this, but And I think in 1961 he was dealing with so much, of the bigotry and discrimination. They remember they actually boycotted, games.
Mhm.
They boycotted games. To me, this is somewhat similar, or no different than what happened, with Rosa Parks. You know what I'm saying? With the whole, bus thing. He took, his power and said, you know what, if you guys are going to constantly, I have to deal with this nonsense. My kids, can't even go at a place where they could just sit down, relax, and eat. If I have to go through all this nonsense, well, then I'm going to boycott games. I'm not going to play games. Eventually, he did decide to play, and then guess what? He won championships, and I think, in my opinion, that's what all African Americans should do. We all are going to face, racism or discrimination, at some point, if in our lives, because unfortunately we still have racist people out here, which is stupid. Concentrate on, the person, character, like King said, instead of a skin color, which is stupid. It's dumb. But am I going to play, victim and, just cry at the corner, all day and say, oh, I don't have a chance in life? No. I'm going to do whatever I have to do to succeed in life, whether if you like me or not. You know what I'm saying? And, I believe he did that, which is why he's one of the, greatest leaders, one of the greatest, unselfish people, this country had ever seen. And, he will definitely be missed. And, you know, I really hope that with this loss, people who lived what he went through, like during, Jim Crow and all the, other nonsense, unfortunately, that people had to deal with, if they were able to succeed back then, I think we as a people could succeed now, because we don't have to deal with that same nonsense that they had to go through. Thank God, we don't have to go through none of that. So because, we don't have as much of it, we should use that as an opportunity to say, even if we have to go through some of it, whether if it's with the police or whether if it's with a CEO at a company, like you mentioned, Vince McMahon, that's not going to stop me, nor should it stop you from your success. You know what I'm saying? Like you and I dealt with this here at the podcast. We dealt with these idiots calling us, racist, all these racist names in the podcast. And what did you do? You blocked them, and we're going to continue to move on, and hopefully that this podcast, grows and succeeds. That's that mentality that you had is what should apply to everything else in life. Keep working hard, do your best, regardless of how somebody else feels about you. So, well, anyway, I pretty much said what I needed to say. God rest his soul. Pray for, his family, and he did so much, for the game. Once again, 11 championships, won 8 in a row. This guy's one of the best of the best, in my opinion. Which is why, in my opinion, he will never be removed from the top 10. He is. That's where it is, and that's where it's going to stay.
All right. All right. Well, from weird transition, we're gonna talk about Deshaun Watson.
Why?
So,
Why is the weird transition?
come on, do I really have to spell it out?
No, 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 no. I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're
All
saying.
right. So here's the thing. All right. So this punishment came down today. Right. This is not. There was not from Roger Goodell. Right. This is not from. This is from a
You
third
had
party.
comments, by the way.
I do. No, I think
Yeah.
I think I read all the ones that need to be read. Yeah, I read all those already while you
Oh,
were
you
gone.
did?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I was gone. Okay. Okay.
All right. So now this was done. Let's read the story, right? So Cleveland Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson will serve a 6-game suspension without pay, but will not be fined for violating the league's personal conduct policy following accusations of sexual misconduct. Disciplinary officer Sue L. Robinson ruled Monday. So she's the one that makes the ruling. Because here's the thing: because the reason why that was the case was because obviously the NFLPA was tired of Roger Goodell, and I think Roger Goodell didn't want to do this anymore either. They were tired of the commissioner being the one that laid out all the punishments, right? And
Ah, okay.
So they let pretty much let a third party do it. All right. So now let me continue reading.
Is my connection okay?
Every connection's fine, perfectly
Okay.
fine. Robinson issued her ruling in a comprehensive 16-page report. She wrote that the NFL recommended Watson be suspended for the entire 2022 season and postseason. The NFL Players Association and the league will have until Thursday 9 a.m. to write a written appeal of Robinson's ruling. Now let me explain what that is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now she all right, so she made the ruling. Now the NFL, now either the NFLPA or Roger Goodell can appeal, and then it will continue to go, and they'll continue to do the back and forth and stuff like that. Here's the thing: the NFLPA has already said they're not going to appeal, so Washington don't have to worry there. The guy that they're waiting for is Goodell. That's who they're waiting for. They're waiting for Goodell, right? And Goodell can either choose to uphold the suspension, or he can file an appeal and recommend either a higher sentence or a lower sentence. This is very important because obviously this will drag out for pretty much the whole season all the way to the preseason, and then we'll see what happens from there.
Yeah.
So okay. In a statement Sunday night, the union made it clear that it will stand by her decision and urged the NFL to do the same. The league, in a statement Monday, said that it was determining its next steps. All right, so if an appeal is made, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell or his designatee, I think what I said, will issue a written decision that will constitute full, final, and complete deposition of the dispute per terms of Article 46 of the League Collective Bargaining Agreement. So apparently, I think what it says here, and I probably got this wrong, is that if Goodell decides to make a ruling on it, if he decides to appeal, then I think his rule is final.
Roger Goodell's rule.
Yeah.
If he decides to make an appeal.
Yeah. And whatever he decides will be the punishment will be final. So we don't know. So we don't know if he's going to decide to we don't know if he's going to decide to spend him for the whole year or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And if he does that, then likely the NFLPA is going to get involved, and Deshaun Watson and his team is going to get involved, and it's going to be a major mess. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
And the rest of this is pretty much just
Oh, that's a lot of information.
that's just too much information, which is not that important.
Are you sure?
No, it's not.
What, well, we'll go down real quick.
Hmm.
Let me see. Scroll down some more. Oh, wait, hold on. Right. Go up a little bit. All right, let me read this, real quick. So the ruling relied on 32 previous suspensions under the league's personal conduct policy since 2015. In 21 of the instances, the league suspended the player for 6 games, including the case of
Darius
Yes
Juice.
and Good Juice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I thought it was okay. And Johnny Manziel, Greg Hardy was suspended for 4 games. The longest suspension was 10 games for Jared Jones. In 2021, involved a criminal plea and multiple incidents of domestic violence. The 2 8-game suspensions of Kareem Hunt in 2019. Okay, so it looks like what they're saying is, let me see, DeMarc Walton in 2020 also took into account of multiple incidents of. Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong. So with all of the stuff that happened in the past, are they or what they're trying to say was that the punishments that they had in the past was just not long enough, like it just wasn't enough?
No. They used the punishments of the past to kind of create a barometer of what Deshaun Watson's punishment was going to be.
Okay.
So, for example, if Deshaun Watson had let's say he hit a couple of these women, right? let's say if he hit some of these women, right? So that would be determined as violence against women, right? So it would be a crime, a
Correct.
very violent crime. He probably would have gotten more games. He probably would have gotten more games. Because I think she said it right here. Let me look for one of the things that she said.
Hmm.
Okay, and in relying on precedent, Robinson sought to differentiate between violent and nonviolent sexual conduct. Robinson concluded that Watson's conduct does not fall into the category of violent conduct that would require a minimum 6-game suspension, which the league had established as by far the most commonly imposed discipline for domestic or gender violence or sexual acts. So pretty much what that means is that if because his crimes weren't violent, that she can't put it on the same scale as some of the other stuff that included violence. You get what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah.
So to me, like the reason why I wanted, because I don't really have that much to say about it, but since it's news, I decided we do need to talk about it.
Hmm.
Here's my thing, right? Now, clearly, they. I don't know if he's paid off all these women yet. I know the Texans did. I know they settled all their suits with them. They settled with these women. I don't know if Deshaun himself has done it. Ultimately, here's the thing: he got off. If this suspension holds, he got off easy.
Oh, really?
He got off easy because not only is he going to only get suspended 6 games. Now, mind you, this dude hasn't played since what, like the 2019 season, the 2020 season.
Oh man,
He
I
he
didn't.
didn't,
I didn't realize he was gone for that long.
yeah, he didn't play all of 2019. He didn't play all of 2019. No, 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 my bad. He didn't play all of last year because of the dispute that he had with the Texans, and this is where all the whole domestic the whole stuff started.
Yeah.
So so dude hasn't played in over a year. So he's gonna get 6 more weeks, 6 more weeks to prepare. He's probably gonna still play preseason games.
Hmm.
He's gonna get 6 more weeks to prepare. And he's gonna come in. He's gonna come in the middle of the season. Probably get some work in or whatever. And
Yeah.
and the most important thing for him, he still keeps all his money.
Even when he didn't play.
Yeah, he
Oh
still keeps
wow.
all his money because that's how the contract was set. That's how the contract was set. This contract was set to protect him so that he can keep his money.
Interesting. That's very interesting. Now look. I don't think he hit anybody. I don't think
No, no,
he.
no, 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 no. It definitely wasn't reported, but no, no, no. But I was just telling you that was the difference between, and the lady who did the ruling, she said that was the main differentiation between violent crimes and non-violent crimes, and she doesn't believe that his crimes against women were violent.
Now, if since that is the case, why do you think that 6 games is too small?
No, it's not about it being too small. It's that he has fucking 24 women saying that he was being a pervert to them, and that can't happen.
Yeah, but they were not actual sexual assaults though, right?
It may not be sexual assault, but you're going in there to do a massage, not to give this man pleasure.
Yeah, if you are trying to whether if he had exposed himself or he had asked, yes, that does warrant several suspensions in my opinion. But I believe that the suspension should have been far worse if he either like touched them sexually, or like you said, committed any type of violence. But if
Which
it's
yeah, but the sexual part, that stuff, like you don't like. To me, I just don't understand why. Cause remember, in this ruling, I don't know if it says it on the thing, but it was said that he can only get physical therapy or massaging and stuff like that from team staff. He can't get his own people. He has to do it from the staff.
Well, you see, well that's the thing. I thought that whenever he was going to get a massage, whether if it's a private place or whatnot, I thought it was one of those you know one of those massage parlors where you could basically get a happy ending after after the service. I thought he went to one of those places,
Mm-mm.
and if he did, then I don't necessarily see how. Well, actually, should he have got suspended for that? I mean, look, if he went to a legit place where you can get a massage where they don't do that, clearly, I don't necessarily see. Um, I think he should get more. I think he should get more than 6 games. But if he was trying to like what's the word, jack off from a place that offers it, which is illegal by the way anyway. So even if I think he should still get
I
suspended
mean, shit,
regardless
that's
because
why Robert Kraft got in trouble, and he didn't get like this. Is the reason why Robert Kraft got arrested. He was getting happy endings at some massage parlor in North Florida.
yeah, because that all that stuff is illegal anyway.
Yeah,
But come
but the
on,
thing is that the NFL didn't punish him.
well
That's
he's what's what but what you how are you go how are you going to punish him? Like fine him $1 million? I think that guy's a billionaire. Like what's $1 million going to do to him? That's
actually,
peanuts.
I don't know if he got punished or not, but it definitely wasn't as harsh as what Deshaun Watson is dealing with. But to me, I just feel like if you have all these acquisitions against you, there's something to it.
Well, yeah,
Because yeah, go ahead.
he's obviously the common denominator, and he obviously has an issue when it comes to his sexuality. Like if he has a problem and he's addicted to it, and he whether if he exposed himself or was just constantly making requests of getting happy endings, yes, he obviously has a problem and he needs help and he needs therapy. First off, you're not gonna like this, but he needs to repent. He needs to tell Jesus that he's sorry, and two, he needs help. Like if all of this stuff is legit, and all these women actually had the exact same issue with this one man, yeah, the guy needs help. And what I would do if I was the NFL, I would make it a requirement that he gets therapy or that he gets some type of counseling on a daily basis. If not, then you lose money or you don't play or you get suspended again. That's what I would do.
Yeah, so I mean, that's pretty much it. Like I don't I don't really have much else to say. I just think that he got off easy. Like he definitely did get off easy.
You
Like
think so?
it probably should have been far worse for him. But look, he's not gonna go to jail. He's probably gonna pay off all these women, and he's not gonna lose any money. There's nothing.
The fact that he's not going to jail is another reason why I think that six games is pretty much, I think, is enough. If he's not going to go to jail, if none of the women is going to press charges against him, then I don't see why he should get suspended for a year or 10 games and whatnot.
All right. All right. So I'm done talking about Deshaun Watson. Last topic. Now this is something that you really didn't know much about, right?
Yeah.
So So let me share this. Let me share this with you because this actually came out last week, right? I was gonna make a video on it, but then I was like I was like F it. Let me just talk about it on the podcast. All right. So I sent you the article, but I'll show you everything. Now before I do that, let me show this coming from Nolan.
hmm
He said that masturbation can be a sign of an illness, and he should be treated as such. So,
Well, here's the thing: if he's just masturbating on his own and his own private time, granted that's a sin too, and I would agree that he needs help. But if he's just doing that in his private time, no, he shouldn't get. I don't know what you're trying to say, but he shouldn't get suspended for that. I mean, that he's just doing it on his own. But if he's making a request to other women, or if he's exposing himself or he's masturbating in front of other women, then yeah, that obviously you should get suspended and you should be punished for it. But yes, that's why I said just a few moments ago, I would put it in the contract that if all of these allegations are true and all these women are complaining and saying that you had violated them in any way, then you need help. And what I would put in the contract is that you need counseling or you need some type of therapy. And if you don't go, then you lose money or you get suspended or whatnot. But I guarantee the team's not going to do that because he's obviously an asset. They invested in the guy. And like what Hoovy said earlier, when we was talking about Bill Russell, once again, God rest his soul. When we was talking about Bill Russell, when people have money and people have, the power, they could pretty much, do what they want. And he mentioned Vince McMahon, and now we're mentioning, Watson. He has money, so he pretty much going to pay these women off to keep everything hush hush. And if they take it, I don't want to hear anything from these women. If they take the money, I don't want to hear anything from them. But as far from him, he still needs to get the help. Otherwise, he'll just get in trouble again. But go ahead.
Okay. I went to the wrong page. So let me what I'm gonna do is I'm going to switch to the other tab. Give me 1 second. I'm okay. Hold on. Let me read this from Nolan before I share. He said, if he has no filter and needs to do it, if he has no filter and needs to do it everywhere. I don't know.
I'm not really sure what you mean by that. If you could elaborate a little bit more, but you know what he means?
Mm-mm. I'm assuming he was. I was assuming he was responding to you.
If he has no filter and needs to do it everywhere. Oh, okay. Maybe you're saying if he doesn't have like some type of restraint, then it's a need for him to do it, wherever. Maybe that's what you're saying. I don't know.
Oh, great. Now this page won't let me. I forgot I'm on Bloomberg, so I can't. Yeah, I can't look at it. Let me go to some board.
You got to subscribe.
Yeah. All right. Let me look for news. Mm-hmm. Okay. Hopefully this is the right page. I apologize for this, people. And then
No, that's fine. We're actually doing really good on time.
No one said yes, lacks restraint.
Okay, so that's what you meant. Okay, to the point where he has to do it, regardless whether if it's at the place or at his job or anywhere, at the grocery store, whatever. But hey, that's what happens when are a sex addict and you are addicted to it. Let me tell you, when you become a slave to sin, you will be a slave to sin. Like you have to have your flesh has that appetite to just constantly do it over and over and over again. It's just unfortunate that this idiot had to compromise other people's lives and livelihood just so he could, release, if you will. So I mean, it's a problem that he has to deal with, which is why once again he needs help. It needs to be in his contract. Go ahead.
GTA 6 will reportedly have a playable female protagonist.
More tokenization. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll address that later. Jason Schreier, known for major gaming scoops over the years, has stated that the next entry in the franchise will be led by a Latina woman who is part of a Bonnie and Clyde inspired group of bank robbers. While this character won't be the first playable female protagonist in GT. Wait, what?
Wait, who was the other one?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Oh, hold on a second. As the top-down early games had, I didn't realize the top-down. Some of the top-down games, the protagonist was a female.
Wait, you mean the first Grand Theft Auto game, the very first one?
I don't know if it's the first, but it's one of those the top down ones. One of the top down ones had a female protagonist.
But I guarantee. Okay, I don't know if it was one or two. 'Cause it was only one and two that was the top down vision, right? The camera view.
They have one, two, and then they have London. And London's the one that I never played.
Isn't that's the one for the DS, isn't it? No, that's Chinatown. That was Chinatown.
Yeah,
Okay, London. Did you know you were a female in London when you in the London version?
I never played it.
Hmm.
Never played it.
Interesting.
So that kind of put a stain in your comment. While this character won't be the first
Not really.
playable, no, it does playable protagonist in GTA history, as the top-down early games had them. GTA 6 will be the first time that a leading female character will have an actual personality. All right, the new game will apparently be set in a fictionalized version of Miami, with more interior location than any previous game in the series. Now, here's the funny thing about that, right? Now, Vice City, when Vice City first came out, the biggest draw was that it was going to have more indoor buildings than three.
Yes.
So they're using the same marketing that they used for the original Vice City that they're going to use for this game.
Okay.
Which is a good sign and a bad sign.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then they said that which will interior locations in the previous game and series. More cities are said to follow in post-release updates that in order to reduce the need for employee overtime at Studio Rockstar. Now, this is also interesting because what they're going to do is they're going to add more cities as the game,
I know it.
when the game comes out.
I
Right?
know it.
Now, here's the thing. If this is going to be Vice City, right? And we all just assume that this is, right? Then they can do they can probably do like a version of Cuba. They can possibly do a version of the Bahamas or the island countries, right? If they do that and do that well, I'm not gonna have a major problem with it. Now they did insinuate that the main city, Vice City, will be larger than the GTA 5 cities. If they do that, then that's fine. That's fine. It's not a big deal. The reason why they're justifying what they're doing right now is because they don't want to, they were criticized for overworking their employees, and they don't want to do that. They don't want to do that this time around.
Okay.
All right, so let's continue. That's not all that has changed at the developer. Due to the changing social and political landscape, the writing in the newest GTA reportedly won't reference minority groups in a negative way, following the removal of inappropriate jokes in the current gen re-release of GTA 5.
Again, like I said before, when we mentioned GTA 5,
Mhm.
don't call it GTA anymore if that's the case.
The publication further. Oh, go ahead. Continue.
No, you can finish. You can finish.
Okay, the publication further states that a lot of changes to the company culture mean morale has never been higher, following controversy over the workplace environment in 2018. Okay, and that's it. That's all there is to it. You want to go or should I?
This is not Grand Theft Auto anymore. It's not. If you want to take away, all this, the jokes and say that, well, we don't want to offend people. Oh, we're living in this, new society now, a new culture. They don't call it Grand Theft Auto anymore. Stop calling it Grand Theft Auto. It's not Grand Theft Auto. And I remember I had actually this question.
Mm-hmm.
So you're still able to rob banks. You're still able to steal people's cars. You're still able to have sex with hookers. You're still able to kill people. You're still able to run over people. You're still able to shoot people. But yet, you don't want to offend people because of jokes. Jokes. How does that make any sense to me? How does that make any sense at all?
Here's the thing, right? No, before now, Nolan said that 2 had a female protagonist. I didn't realize that at the time. I didn't play 2 that much, but I didn't realize it had a female protagonist. But Rockstar over the years they've had um strong representation when it comes to their games. Like they've always had that. Like the Ballad of Gay Tony, where the main not the main, I don't know, like I never played it, but the main character was Tony. I forgot the dude's last name. What's that dude's name? I forgot the dude's last name, but he was obviously based on the name. He was gay, right? So they've done stuff like this in the past. Them having a female protagonist doesn't bother me. I don't care. It is what it is. I'm surprised we didn't really get any before. And when it comes to the Vice City stuff, like and all the other stuff, like I said, if they do it correct, I'm not. It's not going to bother me. What is going to bother me is you're saying that, oh, you don't want to be you don't want to marginalize minorities. You know who marginalized minorities more than anybody else? Criminals. You think the people who are robbing banks or doing all this stuff are like moral? They're like, oh, they're not going to rob somebody if that person's like trans or whatever. No, they're going to rob you because they want the money. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna fuck with. I've never heard of a situation where there's a criminal had like a moral code. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and I know really only really is Robin Hood, right? Like he stole from the rich and give to the poor. That I can understand, but like everything else, like I said a long time ago, if you're not willing to stand by what you are as a company, then there's nothing to stand there. There's nothing to stand for. You don't really really stand for anything, right? If you're saying that you're not going to marginalize, like you're not if you're going to attack everybody, if you're gonna make fun of everybody, then you're not marginalizing anybody. All you're doing is you're just all you're doing is just making fun of everybody. And just because one group of people are just going to get upset over it, then you might as well not do any jokes. Don't do any jokes then. If you're upset that you're just going to offend people, then don't do any jokes. That's what I'm trying to figure out. But with that said, here's the thing about this game. This game needs to be good because, like I said, I don't give two shits about the culture at Rockstar and all the other shit. Like I don't care about that because I don't know what culture was that they were in when they released that dog shit trilogy that I spent $60 for. I don't care if it has a good culture or a bad culture. The fact is, I spent $60 on a fucking remake that was dog shit, and I'm never gonna get that fucking money back. Never ever gonna get it back.
Yeah.
So it's nice and cute and all that the company's not forcing their developers into crunch. That's cute. At the end of the day, if your game sucks, then I'm fucking done with the company. I'm fucking done. I don't give a flying fuck about your environment. I want a game to be good. If your environment is good and the game is good, then good job. But if you're gonna fuck up our game and make the game shitty, just at the expense of making your employees happy, then you guess what happened? The customer's not happy. I'm not happy. I'm not going to buy your game because you treat your employees nicer. Don't fuck up the game, and I'll buy it. If you fuck up the game, then I'm done with that company. Because you ain't giving me jack shit else anyway. You ain't giving me nothing else anyway. We ain't seen a fucking Midnight Club in years. You screwed over the single player users for GTA 5. You screwed over the multiplayer users for Red Dead Redemption. And what else have you been giving us? Nothing. So this game better be fucking good. That's all I got to say. This game better be fucking good.
Look, I think they're doing this not just for the employees, but I think they're just doing this as a publicity stunt. Oh, we're going to have a female character, and I know you and I think Nolan mentioned that we had a female character. I guess in two.
Mhm.
I'm not counting that. I'm not counting that. I guarantee nobody knew at that time you were actually a female. Probably nobody knew that you were a female in that game.
I mean, it had a story mode in it. It definitely had a story mode in it, but it just I guess I must have forgot. It's been years since I played those.
I remember playing. Well, I didn't play the game. I was at my friend's house. This was a long time ago,
Mhm.
obviously. But I was at my friend's house and he's playing the game. I'm watching him play. I was just all I remember was just being bored. Him, playing the game.
Mhm.
But for me, I think they're just doing this as a publicity stunt. It's all propaganda. They just want to look good that we have a female as the protagonist, as the main character in Grand Theft Auto.
Why do you have a problem? Why do you have a problem with it?
Because they're not doing this wasn't done in my opinion. Obviously, I'm just hypothetically saying this. In my opinion, like I said, I think they're just doing it to look good. They're not doing it, organically. I guarantee if all this crazy, feminist, social injustice, all this other nonsense, all this other crap that we have to constantly deal with on a daily basis now and in social media now, I am confident enough to say this would not be happening. That goes through all sorts of entertainment. I'm talking about games. I'm talking about the movies. I'm talking about comics. I'm talking about all of it. We haven't seen any of this, garbage when people are constantly crying and moaning about social injustice and people are not treating me right. All that garbage is affecting everything when it comes to entertainment. It affected the movies that I like. It affected the comics that I like, and now it's affecting the games that I like. I'm already pissed off. I don't know if you saw my Twitter. I already pissed off, already once again with Ubisoft, and now I'm getting more pissed off, with Rockstar again.
What are they? What are they? Where Ubisoft pissing you off about now?
That there's talks that the remake of Splinter Cell is going to get canceled.
All right, well, that had nothing to do with your social justice issues. That had
No, no,
nothing.
no, 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 no. What I'm saying is, I'm already getting pissed off with this. Well, no, I was going to switch over and say I'm getting really pissed off with the gaming industry. Like, as a whole, I'm really getting ticked off with the gaming industry again. And the only thing that have hope for me now is Street Fighter 6. After that is nothing else. I'm really getting really ticked off, with these stupid gaming companies. I'm getting ticked off. And you telling me that you want to stick with Vice City? Oh, we're just going to make it larger. We already played in Vice City already. To me, they're being lazy. They're being lazy. And I am going to assume that the reason why we're back in Vice City is because now that the workers are working less and they want to care about the employees, yada yada yada, I think they're just taking the easy way route. They're being lazy, and instead of making a brand new city from the ground up, they want to use Vice City
But
again.
what is there to I mean, I don't. But where else would they go?
What
Where
do you
else
mean?
would they go?
What do you mean?
Where else?
There's so many cities out there. Why do we have to go back to visit Vice City again? Why? You had Vice City for the PS2. You had your stupid trilogy, edition that you just said you wasted money on. We don't need to go visit Vice City again.
I personally, I'm fine with it. Because here's the thing: GTA 4, which takes place in Liberty City, has 3 and has 4. San Andreas, obviously has San Andreas and 5. Where's Vice City?
Wait, hold on. What do you mean 5?
Like GTA, okay, um the three main cities that they've used, right? Liberty City, right? That was featured in GTA 3, in GTA 4. San Andreas was featured in obviously Grand Theft Auto San Andreas and GTA 5.
Was
Vice
five
City,
five
yeah,
was in San Andreas?
yes,
Are you sure?
yes. Oh, am I short, my nigga? I beat the game.
Dude, I played the game also. I don't remember 5 being in Vice City.
Come on, bro. Isn't no what? You said Vice City?
No, you said 5 was in wait, did I say Vice City?
Yeah, you said Vice City.
No, okay, now you're confusing me now. Okay,
San Andreas.
yeah, I don't remember 5 being in San Andreas. I don't.
Bro, like that. It's in San Andreas. It's in San Andreas.
I need to go back and play it again. I don't remember. I don't remember. But I'm
Listen, trust me. It is.
no. No. That's not the issue. You already had Vice City already, and we had your stupid edition, your master. What do you call it? The one that you bought. What was it called?
Definitive edition.
The definitive edition. That garbage. That
But,
garbage.
but my point is that we've had a next gen version of 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 Liberty City and San Andreas. We've never had a next gen version of Vice City.
And
And
you think that you perfectly okay with that?
more than okay with it.
You're
More
more
than
than okay with it.
yeah.
So you're happy about it.
Yeah. I'm glad that they're going back to Vice City. I'm glad they're going
Okay.
back to Vice City.
Well, I'm not. I still think they're being lazy. I think they're being lazy, and the fact that now they want to, once again, tokenize, these characters. Like I'm just over it, man. All this stuff is affecting all of my entertainment, all of
But
it.
here's the thing that I'm confused by, right? So you're upset that they have a female protagonist. But if all this stuff wasn't going on, all the stuff that you're talking about, you would be okay with it?
No, I don't think they would. I don't think we would have had a female protagonist. I don't think we would have had a female protagonist. I don't think we would have had all this gay Spider-Man garbage. We wouldn't have any of
I'm
this
talking
noise.
about GTA. I'm talking
No,
about GTA.
but I'm talking about everything as a
All right,
whole.
but I'm
It's
talking
affecting
about
everything
GTA.
as a
Okay,
whole.
that's fine. But I'm
We would
talking about
not.
GTA.
We wouldn't have that. We wouldn't have anything when it comes to the movies, and we wouldn't have
Right,
anything
I'm
that's when
talking
it comes
about
to the
GTA.
comics.
I'm
And
talking
I'm
about
talking
GTA.
about GTA also.
All right, I'm talking about you. So you think that they would not have a female protagonist? That's what you're saying.
I don't think. What's your name, by the way?
Yeah, we don't know yet, man. Like all this stuff is just like information. That's all it is right now. Information. We don't have a
Okay,
name or nothing.
but that's her right there. That's the character.
No.
Oh,
The only thing we have is just information. That's it. We don't have no pictures, no nothing. All we have is just information. The
yeah.
reason why the reason why the female protagonist thing don't I'm okay with it because I can see Rockstar making a female protagonist for Senate for GTA
How so?
because they've had strong female characters in games before. They've had strong female characters in GTA.
In
So
GTA,
yeah.
the only one I remember is the one from 3.
All right. Well, they've had strong female characters in every one that I can think of, or key characters who are female characters. So naturally, I'm surprised that they haven't had a female protagonist yet, at least in the 3D ones. I'm actually not that surprised. I'm actually surprised that we're just now getting one.
I don't think I don't think out of all the Grand Theft Auto games we had, I don't believe for a second that you actually said how come we don't have a female character yet.
No. And I know what I said. I said I'm surprised we haven't had one yet.
Yeah, and what I'm saying is I'm pretty sure back then you never complained about it.
No, it's not a big deal to me. Regardless, I care about the game. I don't care about the like. Don't even Nico Bellic, and I think Nico Bellic as a character was lame. But even still, like my problem with GTA 4 was so much more than just Nico Bellic. So much more than Nico Bellic.
Well, I guess.
You know what I mean? Like I care about the game, but the thing is that the female protagonist thing doesn't. I don't look at it as society hurting the game. What I see as society hurting the game is the other stuff, the marginalizing groups and all the other shit that I just think that and I use South Park as the perfect example. South Park is the perfect example. Years and years and years, they've done all they've done was make fun of every group of people, and the people they make the most fun of are white people, basically. Are
Hmm.
white people, all the people, all the and the vast majority of white people, and some of your other and some people of color. All they do is whine and cry and complain about being woke and shit like that. And shout out to Nolan, GTA Woke City. You know what I
Thank
mean?
you. Exactly.
But the thing is that you guys complain about all this woke bullshit. Here's the thing. Ultimately, the thing that should matter most is the content. That should matter most. But to me, part of what made the content great was was how they handled the social issues when it came to social commentary, and they used to do it in a way that was funny, that's sometimes offensive, but funny, something that an adult can handle. The
Yeah,
problem is
but you
now. No, go ahead, go ahead.
no, no, go finish up, finish up.
All right, the problem now is that now you have a bunch of adults who do nothing but cry on social media, and they all they have to do is create a handle, tag Rockstar, and boom, people are going to complain. And instead of being able to justify your stance, we're saying, oh, in GTA it's just really just more of a social commentary on life, but we do it in a way that's very that's different. Instead of doing the South Park way, they're gonna do it. They're gonna do it their way, where everyone else does it by kowtowing to the vocal minority. That's what they're doing.
Okay, so they're already, but from what you're saying, in
Mhm.
conclusion, they're already compromising the game. The game has already been compromised.
But the thing is that the most important thing is the gameplay. That's all I care. The gameplay is the most important thing. That's what's most important. The gameplay is the most important thing. And if the gameplay is good, then I can deal with it. I can deal with it. Because at the end of the day, the most important thing about the game is the gameplay and the missions and stuff like that. That's what matters
Gameplay,
most.
the missions. I
Yeah,
mean, the story,
yeah,
dialogue, all that is also important.
absolutely. But the most important one is gameplay.
Yeah, but
That's the most important
if
one.
if the story's not good, you're not going to. I don't think you're going to enjoy the gameplay that much.
Yeah, obviously the story needs to be good, but but the thing is that the story doesn't need a bunch of trans jokes to be good. They don't need that. It needs the story needs to be compelling, and that's what I thought. Five, even if they, remove the trans jokes, which weren't that many, but it's like even if they remove it, the story's still great. The story's still great. It is to me. I just feel like the extra stuff that has always been special about GTA, you're removing it because a bunch of people cry to you about it because you have the vocal minority cry about it. And instead of standing up for your convictions and pretty much explaining to them, yo, we don't hate you guys. We're just making commentary. That's all there is to it. Based on real life stuff, they just kowtow to them and they remove it. Or they try not to punch down. I think one comment was they try not to punch down on the minorities and stuff like that. And
Well, it's
marginalized groups.
it's just like how this was. I think this was 2 years ago. This
Mhm.
is just this is the same thing that I had told you when it was you, me, and Mr. B when we were all talking about this long time ago on WhatsApp. I told you that this was going to happen. That a lot where it comes to our entertainment, stand-ups is no longer the same. Movies are no longer the same, all because of this, social injustice garbage that we have to deal with, in society now. And now it's again, it's compromising our games, and I don't like it. I don't like it. And when it comes to this, in this particular case, as I said before in the beginning, don't call it Grand Theft Auto anymore. Make a brand new IP and call it something else. But don't call it Grand Theft Auto because, like you said, you're removing all the elements that made the game special anyway, and how it made the game original from all the other games. And if you're going to change it, then don't call it Grand Theft Auto anymore. I'm getting really sick and tired of these companies, like you said, kowtowing just to keep people happy, just to uh, um you know use propaganda. And look what we did. Oh, we care about you guys, we care about you gals, so we're going to remove this from our games. We're going to remove this from our movies. We're going to remove this from our comics. We're going to remove this. We're not going to say all this stuff when it comes to stand up anymore. Oh, because we don't want to offend people. Yeah, get the hell out of here, man. And as far as this game, already I'm starting to not get interested in this game. I'm not really that interested. I'm not interested. So I don't really have anything else to say, because I'm going to remain in the exact same position when we talked about Grand Theft Auto the last time, when they were removing all the jokes the last time, and they're going to do the same thing with here. I'm just not interested.
All right. Nolan said GTA made $1 billion in total. Take your effing sweet time. Overwork your employees a little, and release at the launch of PS6. Now here's the thing. When it comes to that, right? I know he's joking, but here's the thing. You make all this money, but yet you still have the need to go make your employees go through all the BS that they go through. They're gonna make that money regardless, because GTA Online is a big deal. That's their cash cow. But yet your company still has to make your company still has to force your employees and treat them like shit. Like it's poorly run over there, man. It's poorly run, and it's I don't know, man. Like this game is make or break for me. It's make or break for me.
Well, you were already disappointed in the last GTA game that you bought, so don't be surprised if this disappoints you also.
This is Vice City. I wanted 6 in Miami, not Vice City. Well, I mean, Vice City is technically Miami. Vice City is technically Miami.
But you know what he means by that, though.
No, Vice City is Miami. They can't name it Miami. Like with all that stuff they normally would put in the game. There's no way they would call it Miami. We need something. We need something set in Europe or Asia. Get out of America. You know what? It's like I actually would be okay with it, because you know what game that I would like to see a modern remake of? The Getaway.
Well, get the hell out of here, man.
Let me
Get the hell out of here.
Let me explain. The reason why I wasn't interested in the original game was there was something with the driving that I didn't like about it.
No.
No, I remember watching gameplay, right? And I remember a long time ago I wasn't interested in GTA clones. I was only interested in GTA.
Exactly. That now you're telling the truth. You're telling the truth.
But I watched gameplay and I was like, you know what? If they'd done something different with this game, I probably would have bought it. But a modern remake of The Getaway, I actually would like to play.
Well, that was your problem. You couldn't stand any other game that was similar to GTA. You completely dismissed
they
it.
weren't good.
You completely dismissed it.
They weren't good.
You dismissed The Getaway. You dismissed Streets of LA. You dismissed Saints Row in the beginning.
Yeah. And guess what happened? I played Saints Row the Third, and that game is overrated dog shit. Overrated dog shit. Nolan says Spider-Man is gay too, along with Batman.
You missed the last podcast that we did.
I thought he was there. I thought he was there.
Maybe.
Yeah. He said that he liked Nico Bellic. I wasn't a fan. I wasn't a fan.
I thought you was just not a fan of the extra stuff.
Yeah, that too. That was my biggest problem with the extra, was the phone call mechanic that they put in the game. Fucking garbage. I mean, if you wanted to give us Vice City 2, but don't remake Vice City, because Rockstar sucks at remake. Yeah. Look, this is a brand new game that they're gonna be making. This is a brand new game, so I expect a Vice City to obviously to be bigger. So I expect it to be. I expect it to be to have Miami, obviously have the physical Miami, have South Beach, a bigger South Beach. Have little Havana, have little Haiti. Um, and then I expect them to also have aspects of Broward. You know what I mean, like how Fort Lauderdale looks. I expect I expect it to be I expect it to be good. I expect the Vice City part to be good. And he said Saints Row goes in what, the trash can probably. At least the third game. I didn't play one or two, but the third I hated the third game. There's nonsensical bullshit in that game. Nothing. Just it was just too goofy. Too goofy for me.
Mhm.
So I mean, on that note, we can end it here. I like I said before. Let me just reiterate. I don't care about the female protagonist. It's fine if they want to add her in, as long as the story's good. I don't care. Um, if you're going to do Vice City, do it right. If you're gonna do the extra islands and stuff like that, like Cuba, fictional Cuba, Haiti, whatever, do it right. Um, and like I said, if the dialogue is if you can't stand by your conviction, then I'm already worried about the game. But with that said, if the content's gonna be in there, I mean, I don't know how you can make it funny, but if the commentary's in there, then that's fine. Just at the end of the day, just don't fuck up the game. That's it. Don't fuck up the game, because this company is on their last strike with me. Like I said before, you fucked up. You really screwed over the single player people for Grand Theft Auto 5. You screwed over multiplayer users for Red Dead Redemption 2. You released a half-ass bullshit ass trilogy, right? You're on, to me, they're on their last legs. If this game is no good, I'm done with Rockstar. I'm done. I'm done. This is like with Ubisoft. I don't buy Ubisoft games no more. Like, I don't buy their game because they've shown constantly that, one, they don't know what they're doing, and the game that they've either ruined my favorite. They've ruined every one of my favorite franchises.
Yep.
And when it comes to Rockstar, they are fucking up the biggest one that I love, and the other one that I love from them, they don't make anymore. So it's like, so why would I if why would I waste my time?
You talking about Midnight Club?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, like they're on their last strike with me.
Well, I don't know if I'm actually going to give the game, a chance. I'm already, losing interest as we continue talking about it. Even though now the podcast is pretty much over, I don't think I'm going to give the game a chance. I'm. It's not even a dilemma. I'm on the verge of just saying, you know what, screw it. I'm not. I'm just not interested. All these companies are starting to like really disappoint me. I'm getting really pissed off with all these companies, whether it involves social injustice or not. I'm getting really ticked off with Ubisoft. I'm getting ticked off, with Konami. I'm getting ticked off with Rockstar. All these companies, they're making me sick right now. I can't enjoy video games like I used to anymore. And all the stuff that I cared about so much and had a special place in my heart, I'm just not feeling it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and now Grand Theft Auto, one of the biggest franchises ever, now they want to compromise the game because of what's been going on in society, and I just don't like it. So I'm not interested. I'll probably maybe watch you play. Maybe you tell me how it is when you eventually buy it. But as far as right now, I'm not interested in the game.
Ruben, before we go, let me read this from Ruben. Shout out to you, Ruben. I personally liked exploring a different culture. That's why I liked 4. That
Oh,
part. I don't mind the culture part of it. Like, I don't mind that part of it. There are aspects of GTA 4 that are really really good. The problem is that the phone mechanic is what hurt the game for me. Is what hurt the game for me.
Why did you dislike the phone
Because
so much?
because here's the thing, I'm in one half on one. I'm on the other side of the fucking city, and I got a dude who lives in the middle of the city calling me, and if I don't answer, I get punished for it. And I'm like, bro, like, I'm on a fucking mission. Like I can't waste my time going all the way down to do these activity with this guy who which is not fun to do. It's one thing if the activities were fun, I would be okay with it. But the activity is not fun. Like it's funny to drive around the city drunk at one time, but to do it like over and over again, that shit's not fun. It's not fun. And plus, I didn't think Nico Bellic as a character was interesting.
I
I
thought
didn't.
he was okay.
I, I
I thought he was a likable guy.
no, likable guy is fine, but like likable guy in GTA is weird. I don't know if you can have a likable guy in a GTA game.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. But anyways, on that note, let's get out of here. Ruben, Nolan, Malta. Thank you guys for watching.
Don't forget my brother McKenzie.
Oh, and McKinley, yeah, you too, bro. Thank you guys for watching. Like I said, we're gonna do a podcast next Monday. Look out for that. And then that's pretty much it. Steve, having the last words.
Oh yeah. So once again, thank you all once again. And if you guys kindly, give us a nice like and share it whether if it's on Twitter, whether if it's on IG or Facebook, I would definitely love for everybody to look at our content. And guess what? More people had actually commented from work, and they said that they were actually laughing at us. They say they laugh at you also because you would always curse at me and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so people say, man, it's really entertaining because the two of you genuinely disagree on stuff. Like you actually disagree and you actually give two completely different, perspective. And which is why after when the podcast is over, I actually watch it and then I laugh. There's a lot of times I laugh as I'm watching us talk and debate and things of that nature. But if you guys kindly, if you could do that, that would be greatly appreciated. Give us a like and share our content. And yeah, so this is the Traditionalist 101 signing out.
And to address Ruben, unless something major happens, no, we're not doing a Friday podcast. Normally, our podcasts are normally on Friday. I mean on Monday, unless either we can't do it Monday or if something major happens, we'll try to do our best to do a show that day or next day or whatever to address it. You know what I mean?
Well,
So
what's funny though, Ruben, you're having us probably not going to like this. It's probably bittersweet for Hoovy. Um, other day besides just Monday, and I said, well, no, it's mainly just once a week. So we had people request for more of our podcast, but me and Hoovy mainly want to have it just once a week, and I agreed to it. So it is what it is. But I actually do like the fact that people want more. So that's good. That shows that the content is actually good. Eventually, it's going to grow, which is why I really appreciate that you guys share our content. Did Hoovy go away, or was it me? Hmm. Um, I don't know what happened.
okay, you're on.
Oh, was it? Did I disappear?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, all right. Did you hear anything I said at all?
Oh no.
This whole entire time I was talking, but all right, let's just get out of here since my thing's acting up. Is it me or is it Hoovy?